Hi and welcome everyone to our 78th episode of The Little Inside. As usual, my name is still Tobi, and this week I'm going to reflect a little bit on the question, where does our true power lie? So let's get started right after the intro. Have you ever felt powerless in your life? In a way, unable to do anything about the situation that you're in, unable to do anything about the feelings that you're experiencing or your own thoughts even. Sometimes we might encounter these situations where we feel kind of stuck. We don't know what to do, where to move, who to turn to, whether what we are doing is right or wrong. And so there can creep up this sense of having no power. Sometimes that might arise when you're contemplating just how big that universe really is that we're in. So we have this tiny little me that walks on this huge blue planet floating somewhere in the middle of infinite space. It makes me feel quite powerless and small. Sometimes you might feel powerless when you're contemplating just how ugly and nasty the world can sometimes be. Maybe you just watch some news about war, about famine, about devastation in other countries, about torture, about mistreatment of certain minorities and so forth. So you can find all kinds of thoughts or emotions that stir up that feeling of being helpless or powerless. Now here today I would like to raise the question, well, is it really true? Are we really completely powerless? And where would our power actually come from? Very, very often in life we are looking for external input to give us power and strength. So for example, you might exercise your body so your body becomes very powerful and strong, so you can have a temporary sense of security in your own body. Or you might buy a very expensive car to demonstrate to other people that you're very wealthy. And by demonstrating your wealth, you can then somehow exercise some power over what other people are thinking of you. At least many people hope that this works. And probably in some cases it even does work. It makes some people feel like, wow, look at him in his Mercedes-Benz. He must be so powerful and rich. I wish I was just like him. So it might actually work in some cases. So we have this, or maybe some people, they like to exercise power over others. They want to control them and manipulate them. It can be very manipulative. And so there's all these kind of various ways of how we are trying to exercise power over circumstances, over situations that are around us, in order for us to feel more secure, to feel more in control. Have you noticed that all these attempts of changing the world, changing people, changing others, changing even our own thoughts, changing our own feelings, changing our own bodies, are attempts at changing something that is circumstantial in nature, that is not actually truly ourselves at the core. But these are all temporary things that come and go. And if you reflect deeply enough, then you can see that even though many things come and go, that there is a quality that does not come and go with those things. Then that can be a very powerful source of inner strength and confidence and certainty and power. You can fully relax within your own center. But if that is not the case, if your spiritual practice hasn't reached levels that are that deep and stable actually, then where can our sense of power come from? What can we really rely on that gives us a sense of strength and power? Now, there's a few things that we could rely on that are actually powerful. But where does our real power come from? Or in other words, where is there in our life, where is there a space where we can execute our power, no matter what kind of power that is? That's always and only now. So now is the domain of action. You can do something now. It doesn't matter how much you worry about what will happen in 2 days, then what you are doing right now, you're giving power away to something that is, you can't change it. You can't do anything about it because it's away from you. It's in the future. You can't do anything about it. The example that I like to give is when you're in the car and your power to change direction in life is always and only here and now. You can now steer to the left and you will go right to the left. It changes the course of your life right now. Or you can turn to the right and so you go to the right. But you can only ever steer right now, right here. When you're sitting in a car and you start worrying about whether you should steer left or right within, let's say, 20 kilometers away from here, should I steer left or should I steer right? Then you become distracted from the current task. I'm not saying that it's not important to actually have a plan of where you're going. You should not just drive. I'll come back to that later again. But your actual power to do something about your direction in life is right here and right now. So this is why I say that presence is kind of a source of power. It allows you to influence your life in either positive and uplifting ways or negative and harmful or painful ways. Now, most people are kind of on autopilot. They react to life. So if something comes to them, like a bad comment or criticism or something like that, then they just go into a reactivity, into a reaction mode. They don't even know what's going on within themselves. They just react like a machine. You push a button and it runs. So sometimes people literally, they push your buttons and your machine just runs. Some people give you praise and then you feel happy. And some people, they blame you and then you feel unhappy. And most of that happens without us even really knowing what's going on. There's an example of knowing what's going on within myself would be someone pushing my button, someone, let's say, criticizing me. And inside I go, oh, criticism. Let's see what happens within my own mind right now as a result of that criticism. And then you watch. Okay, the mental state has changed. Now you are in a very powerful situation because now you actually have a choice of how to respond. You can now respond skillfully. So to, for example, solve the problem at hand. Or, and most people wouldn't do that consciously, we could respond unskillfully. But you have a choice right now. And since you have a choice, you can steer right now in a way that helps you to stay on a good course, that helps you to achieve in life what you really want to achieve, which is happiness and well-being and the end of suffering and misery. So that's what we're all trying anyways all the time. We all try to be happy. Well, nobody wants to experience suffering and pain. So here is your chance. You have to become self-aware right here and right now. You have to know what's going on within your own mind as it is going on. So your mindfulness has to be very fast. It has to work right here and now. And when it starts to really work right here and now, then you have a fair chance of steering your mind back into a lane that actually serves you and others around you, rather than going off the street or just going into a very shady kind of side alleyway and then being completely lost for a long time. So it's really important to stay on track, and mindfulness allows you that, particularly if your mindfulness is fast. If your mindfulness is fast, it means you're present all the time, and you are acutely present. You're fully aware with great clarity of the mental states, the emotional states, the physical states that you are in right now. Over a longer time of actually practicing like that, you will notice that this awareness, this mindfulness, becomes like a refuge. It becomes a resting place for you. Because you now are in the position where you can discard things that are irrelevant They're just like little energy suckers in your mind, like worry or fear or like unskillful thoughts about yourself. I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, nobody loves me. You can just discard them because you see they are of no value, really. They don't help you to steer the car of your life into a direction where it would actually be beneficial to yourself and others. So you can just let them go. And instead, you can relax back into that spacious awareness, into that knowing quality more and more. So that knowing quality, that awareness in your center becomes a refuge. It becomes something that you start to trust more and more. And with that, you put less and less trust on your discursive, noisy thinking mind. But you start to rest more and more in your being rather than in your thinking. That is an incredible source of power because now you're calm, you're relaxed, you're not carried away by the moods of your mind, of your monkey mind. You're not carried away by the various moods that blow through your emotional space. You have like a center. That's a source of power. And it even offers other people around you rest and respite because something in them feels that you are at ease no matter what. That is attractive, and it helps those people to kind of, because you have such confidence in your awareness, it helps them to have more confidence in their awareness, helps them to have more confidence in themselves, in their own practice, in their own endeavors. So it's really, really important to actually learn to find a center within yourself. That's where your power is. So you can say, first, our power is within presence. Right now, right here. This is where you can actually do things. And if you become aware of what's going on within yourself, then you have a choice of doing something skillfully or unskillfully, which would be a kind of a weird choice to make anyways. But you get the point, right? You can do things more skillfully. You can actually design and shape your life if you are here to live it. Most people are not here. They're continuously elsewhere. When they're engaged in a conversation with their friends, they're thinking about other things. When they eat, they think about other things. When they take a shower in the morning, they think about other things. So our mind is continuously not there. So we are continuously losing power to noise, which is just noise in most cases. There is such a thing as skillful thinking, but the way I like to always portray it is as a sledgehammer. A sledgehammer is useful for certain tasks. When that task is finished, you're able to put the sledgehammer down, right? You build your fence, now it's okay to put the sledgehammer down. Thinking is a tool. How many times are you able to put it down when you don't need it? For example, in the middle of the night when you're suffering from insomnia, or are you able to put it down on the train ride when you could just relax actually and be happy in the train and enjoy your life? Why worry about things that are not there? And that's what we do most of the time, worrying about things that are either not there yet or that have already passed. There's not much usefulness in that. It actually robs our energy. And so we are powerless, quite literally. So if you want to develop or find your own power, come into the present moment, become aware, and then learn to trust into this sense of awareness, of actually knowing what's going on clearly, rather than being lost in what's going on. And that's a very beginning stage of practice. You do what you do with full awareness. Just cultivate that in the beginning, you will see huge benefits in your own life. Okay, so we are coming to an end here for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. As usual, I'm just sitting down here and just reflect on these things, seeing what comes up. I hope it helps some of you to understand these points on a deeper level, and actually helps you with your own practice or inspires you to things in your day in a different way, with more awareness, more mindfulness. Who knows? If it really works, let me know in the comment section. If it doesn't work, let me know why. If there are any questions, feel free to write them down also down in the comment section. Always happy to read your comments. And well, I'm looking now forward to see you again next week on next Wednesday, and wish all of you guys a wonderful day today. Bye-bye.